Welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a Christmas book haul. I also have a couple of things here that are not actually books, but they're bookish and I want to share with you. But I have some gifts here from my husband, some from my in-laws, some from some of you, and some from like some in-person friends. And so I want to share all of those with you. Thank you to anyone who sent me any gifts or cards or any well wishes. It's never expected for anyone to send me anything, and it is always such a pleasant surprise and really special when I do receive something. I'm going to start with my bookish items and then get into the books, and I'll have it divided into timestamps. So if you don't care about the bookish things, you can skip over that. My friend Whitney gave me this little like gift basket type thing when we were at our in-person book club Christmas party as a thank you for like leading discussions and stuff like that. And I should have brought the other things in here because it had like some soap and it had like a candle and a little cup. But the thing that I was most excited about is this. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. This one is especially pretty because it has like some pressed flowers and like some gold flecks in it. And so it's really, really pretty, but I'm going to show you what it's for. So this actually helps you read books. You can put it in the book like this, and then you just put your thumb in there. And so it holds the book easier for you, and it's much more comfortable to hold a book while you're reading it. I've actually wanted one of these for a really long time, so I was like unreasonably excited when this was in there. Another thing for my in-person book club is my friend Jennifer makes these really, really precious ornaments for us every year. She made one last year, and it has all the books that we read together in book club. And this one's like, I just love it. It has all the books, the good and the bad, because there were some bad. And I don't know if you can see there's a little banner in there that says Book Club 2025. So they're actually ornaments, but I keep them on my bookshelves. So I have last year's on my bookshelves here, and I keep this one up there too, because I want to be able to see them more than just once a year. And my last bookish gift that is not a book is this from Dia. This is a DIY book nook. So as you can see, it has all these pieces that you put together, and then you can put this on your shelf or whatever, and it's like a little corner bookstore. And I have actually wanted one of these for years, so I'm super excited that I got one, and I can't wait to put it together. Editing Tiffany here, and I am joined by Gus, so if you hear loud snoring in the background, it's either him or Dexter. But there's something I forgot to show you that I got, and it's these. These are little sticky tabs that are paw prints, and they're so cute. My in-laws got them for me off my wish list, and it actually, I thought it just came with like one set of these, and it came with like 4, which is really awesome. So I've started using them and it's so cute because you can just see the little paws sticking out of your book, and it's really adorable. I'm going to divide up the genre of books that I got in case you care about some genres more than the others. I think I have the most nonfiction here, but I also have a few classics, and then I have 3 books that don't really have a genre that fits into either of those, so I'm just going to put them in a miscellaneous category. Let's start with nonfiction. One of the books that I am the most excited about that I received for Christmas is Mary Oliver's Devotions. My in-laws actually purchased this for me, and I have wanted this book for years and years and years, and I haven't read very much of it yet, but I've just dipped in just a tiny bit, and oh my gosh, it is one of the most beautiful things that I've ever read in my life. So Mary Oliver writes poetry, in case you didn't know. So I guess nonfiction works for poetry. I don't know. Maybe I could have put it in miscellaneous. I don't know. But it is just so gorgeous. I'll just read the very first poem for you so you can kind of get a taste test. It's called I Wake Close to Morning. Why do people keep asking to see God's identity papers when the darkness opening into morning is more than enough? Certainly any god might turn away in disgust. Think of Sheba approaching the kingdom of Solomon. Do you think she had to ask, is this the place? I just love it. It's like really, really beautiful. I'm so excited to read this. I think I'm going to slowly read it over the course of the year. One of the books my husband bought for me is The Rare Jewel of Christian Contentment by Jeremiah Burroughs, who was one of the Puritans. And I love how the Puritans write about their relationships with the Lord. So this is one that also has been on my wish list for years and years and years. It's about 300 pages long, and I feel like it has like decent space for writing on the page too, which the only books that I tend to like mark up a lot are nonfiction, especially Christian nonfiction. So excited to finally own this one and read it, because I think so far the only one of the Puritans that I've actually read is John Bunyan, but I've heard some quotes from this book and have really wanted to read it. Another book from my husband. This is like a really exciting book. It looks so cool. It's Cook Korean by Robin Ha, and this is a cookbook, but it's also a comic book. So it has like art with the recipes. So some of it is like, I don't know if this is like actually a story. Yeah, it is. This is kind of like a story of kids eating this particular thing. But even with the recipes and stuff, you can see that it shows you what the ingredients look like, how to cook it, all of that kind of stuff, in addition to actually having the recipe on the page. But then at the beginning too, it actually shows you what a Korean pantry looks like what are some staples and things that they normally have, what is in a Korean refrigerator. So these are things you would want to have on hand, key ingredients, things you want to have on hand when you're cooking things in this cookbook. And so it's just a really fun combination of comic book, really nice art, and then also good recipes that I can't wait to try. I purchased one book for myself out of Christmas money, and so I'm including that in here because people gave me Christmas money, and so this is one of the things that I purchased, and it's Reclaiming Quiet by Sarah Clarkson. I have talked about this book a decent amount on my channel. First of all, when I read it initially, but then also this was in my top nonfiction of the year. If I could choose one book that was my very favorite book of the entire year, it's this one. It passed up all of the nonfiction that I read, all of the fiction that I read. It is just such an amazing book. So this is, like I said, a Christian nonfiction about finding quiet places and margins to reconnect with the Lord. And this came at the right time in my life where I just really, really needed it, but I'm already ready to reread it, even though it's only been about 6 months since I've read it. The first time that I read it on Kindle, and I got it from the library. And so I really wanted to have the physical copy so I could mark it up and highlight it and be able to flip back through it whenever I want. I feel like Sarah Clarkson's writing is just absolutely gorgeous. Like one of the most beautiful nonfiction writers I have ever read. So her writing is just so lyrical and so poetic, but on top of that, it's very practical. There are like questions at the end for reflection to help you put into practice some of the things that she talks about. And so it's just fantastic. This was actually the book that I brought to my book club Christmas party because we do a blind book exchange. And so I was like, I need to get this book into more people's hands. So I actually bought a copy for that exchange before I bought a copy even for myself, but I needed to have a copy. So now I do. The last nonfiction I have here is a really, really special one. It's also a Christian nonfiction that my dad gave me as a Christmas gift. My dad actually gave me this copy of this book that was given to him by his mentor, and it's In His Steps by Charles Sheldon, which I've actually never read, but I know that like the children's series, like the What Would Jesus Do book, is like a children's version of this, but it's really old and really beautiful. I think it's a second edition, my dad said. It was published in 1899, and so my dad knows my affinity and love for old books, but he said that he read this book for the first time when I was probably like 6 or 7, and he said it absolutely like changed his life and really enriched his spiritual walk with the Lord. And so it's special that I have it because it's old. It's special that I have it because it meant so much to my dad, but it's also special because of its spiritual significance as well. So this is such a special book, and I'm really, really thrilled that my dad gave it to me for Christmas. I have 3 classic books that I got for Christmas. This one comes to me from Victoria from A Musical Bookworm, and it's The Pilgrim's Regress by C.S. Lewis. This is actually the first book that C.S. Lewis wrote after his conversion to Christianity, and so I feel like it has a lot of spiritual significance as a result of kind of like his growth as a brand new believer, and it's kind of his version of The Pilgrim's Progress. I'm really excited to actually own this and read this because I don't think I could get this on Libby, and I've wanted to read it for years, and it's been on my wish list for probably at least like 4 or 5 years. It's been on there for a really long time. So thank you so much, Victoria, for getting this book for me. I am very excited to read it. The next one is another one that I have had on my wish list for at least 3 years. And this one comes to me from Charlene from Coffee and a Book. And it's this beautiful edition of Northanger Abbey. Northanger Abbey is actually my favorite Jane Austen novel, which is a very unpopular opinion, I'm quite aware. But I really just relate to Catherine Morland as a young teenager. Young Tiffany was very much like young Catherine, and my husband was very much like Henry Tilney. And so I think Henry Tilney is my favorite love interest. And so I just really, really love this book. I love the humor in it and the satire in it and the way she pokes fun at like Gothic novels and all that kind of stuff. It's just really wonderful. Anyways, I didn't own a copy of Northanger Abbey until this year, and I found a copy at McKay's. But I kept this on my wish list because I love these editions. I forget what they're called. The Harper Muse Classics. So these are so beautiful. So the actual cover of the book is this dark blue, and then the dust jacket is all cut out and it's white. And there's actually, it's on the back too. With a quote, "No one who had ever seen Catherine Morland in her infancy would have supposed her born to be a heroine. Her situation in life, the character of her father and mother, her own person and disposition were all equally against her." I love it. I didn't realize until I received this book too that it actually has sprayed edges, which I really love. And there's also artwork with quotes sprinkled throughout. And I had no idea that that was part of this book at all. So that's really cool too. So I'm so, so excited to own this. It's beautiful. It's one of those books where I'm going to put it like forward facing on my shelf. So that way when you look at my bookshelves, you can see it because it's so beautiful and absolutely deserves to be displayed prominently. The last classic on my list is one that my husband purchased for me, and it's The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And I don't really know much about this book. I added this to my wish list because I was like, I've had so many people tell me I need to read it, but I actually don't know anything about it. I know that the author himself is Brazilian, and that's pretty much all I know. I also love this edition. Like, I really like the back. The front is like very textured. It has French flaps. It has deckled edges. It's a really nice edition. So I really like it. So the little blurb on the inside says, "This story, dazzling in its powerful simplicity and soul-stirring wisdom, is about an Andalusian shepherd boy named Santiago who travels from his homeland in Spain to the Egyptian desert in search of a treasure buried near the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a man who calls himself king, and an alchemist, all of whom point Santiago in the direction of his quest." There's more, but I'm not going to read more because classics tend to spoil themselves on inside flaps and blurbs on the back. There's a quote on the back that says, "To realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation." So yeah, so that's the last classic that I got. This is one that I would love to maybe read this year at some point. It's really short, so I feel like I could squeeze it in. It's under 200 pages. It also has like really beautiful illustrations sprinkled throughout on the page that are really nice. Then I have 3 books here that are all different genres. So I didn't want to do like one book in each genre. So they're miscellaneous. So first of all, I have a book translated from Korean that is like quirky, funny, cozy, all those things. And that is The Dollar Gut Dream Making District. So this is book 2. I read The Dollar Gut Dream Department Store in 2025. So this one came out, I think, in the fall or in the summer. I don't know. I saw it on pre-order and added it to my wish list, and my in-laws bought this for me for Christmas. So I'm really excited to have book 2 because book 1 was just really fun, really quirky, really interesting. So basically the premise of this series is that there is this department store that sells dreams. And so you go to the store literally in your dreams. It exists in the subconscious of humanity, and they come to the store and ask for specific dreams. And so there are dreams, like they talk about how flying dreams are extremely popular and are never in stock. They're always flying off the shelves, and there are different types of dreams. And in this department store, there are different floors, and each floor specializes in different types of dreams. And they even have, people who create nightmares, and just really, it's very quirky, very interesting, really fun, but also had some really like deep conversations about like human psychology and emotions and things like that. And so it was a really good mix of those kind of things. Then I have a mystery book. So it's really interesting because I had another person from my in-person book club who actually got me and my friend Whitney these blind dates with a book. And so they were wrapped and they had little things in them. I'll show you what was in mine. It said on it that it was like a mystery and said that it was set in England. I think it said something else. So it's got this bookmark that has a reading list with where you can put the title of the book when you read it and what you rated it, which is really cute. It has this whodunit mystery checklist, a little notebook, and it also came with a pen. I don't know what I did with the pen, but it came with a pen, a little magnifying glass, and a thing of tea. The book is Jeeves and the King of Clubs by Ben Schott. Says that this is an homage to P.G. Wodehouse, and I actually haven't even read any P.G. Wodehouse at all. I've not read a single Jeeves book. I've not read any of his other books. So I would like to read one of those before I give this one a try. It says it's the misadventures of Bertie Wooster and his incomparable personal gentleman Jeeves have delighted audiences for nearly a century. Now Ben Schott brings this odd couple back to life in a madcap escapade full of the entanglements, imbroglios, and Wodehousian wordplay that readers have adored for generations. So I guess maybe it's like a modern like continuation, someone else writing a new story of those same characters. That could go either way for me. I could think it's a really fun homage, or I could be like, it's not nearly as good as the original. So I guess we'll see. But she had no idea what it was when she purchased it. She just saw that it, kind of was related to classics and that it was a mystery. And so she thought of me because she and I are like the big Victorian classic lovers in our book club. And so I think that's why she picked it for me. But it was really fun. And it was really fun that it came with like all this stuff like tucked in it. It was wrapped in such a way that it had pockets. So it had all this stuff tucked in there, which I thought was a really, really fun companion to the book itself. The last book that I have here feels like it's going to be a very heartwarming book. But I don't know what genre it is. Like maybe it's a contemporary. I'm not totally sure. But I got this book from our book swap that we do at my in-person book club at our Christmas party every year. So everyone brings a book. Could be a book you loved, could be a book you hated, could be a book you already owned, or a book that you purchased. It can be like whatever. And we wrap it up in like plain paper. And then on the cover, we write the genre and just like a couple little nuggets and plot point kind of things. So that way people can kind of guess. And we do it like Dirty Santa style. So we steal and we swap, but we don't know what books we're ending up with. We don't open them until the very end. So it's really fun. The book I ended up with was Theo of Golden by Alan Levi, which I've heard a little bit of buzz about recently. And it's actually a book that I will be reading with my in-person book club in March. So it's kind of fun that I ended up with a book that we're already going to read. The blurb on the back says, his name is Theo, and he asks a lot more questions than he answers. Theo visits the local coffee house where 92 pencil portraits hang on the walls, portraits of the people of Golden done by a local artist. He begins purchasing them one at a time and putting them back into the hands of their rightful owners. With each exchange, a story is told, a friendship is born, and a life altered. A story of giving and receiving, of seeing and being seen, Theo of Golden is a beautifully crafted novel about the power of creative generosity, the importance of wonder to a purposeful life, and the invisible threads of kindness that bind us to one another. I was really excited because how we choose our books for our in-person book club is that there are 5 of us who very regularly attend, and then we have a couple of other people that attend sometimes. So the 5 of us who regularly attend, at the Christmas party, we all choose 2 books, and then we put them in a cup and just like randomly pull them out and say, this is a book we're reading in this month, and this is a book we're reading in this month. And so this book actually made it to March, and it was really funny because 2 people from our book club actually put this in as their selection. So one other person had to change their answer really quick and pick a different book because it was just really funny how that worked out. So there were several people who really, really wanted to read this book this year. So I'm excited to read it, and I'm excited that I actually own it as well. So those are the books and bookish things that I received for Christmas this year. I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Are there any books that I have here that you would like to see me read sooner rather than later, that you would like to see me prioritize? Because I have a lot of really interesting ones in here. If you've read any of the books that are mentioned here, of course, I would love to hear your thoughts. And I would also love to hear if there are any books that you received for Christmas, and if so, which ones are you really excited about? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.